Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me, the advice podcast. What's up? What's up?
You didn't say in quarantine.
Oh, in quarantine. I mean, this is our new normal now.
I know. It's like at some point I just should come live in that room and then we can record together.
100%. I have been
But I'm moving.
going through a crisis, not a crisis, but like, I mean, I am. I'm constantly going through, crises is my middle fucking name. And I decided I want to redo this room. I know I said that at the beginning of quarantine, but I'm looping back to it. Also, fun fact, which is completely tied to this. Did you know that people with ADHD don't have object permanence?
I don't even know what that is.
So I only know of it through like Baby is Monts' nephew. Sort of my nephew too. I guess like babies for a good port, like until they get a little bit older, they don't realize that like when something's out of sight or out of any of their senses that it still exists.
I know what you are.
People with ADHD do not have object permanence. So like and it makes total fucking sense. I was like, oh yeah, no. And remember how I told you all the time? And I like reference specific people to you, and we're not gonna do that here. But like how I forget people, like some people exist.
Yeah.
And like people that I like should remember that they totally exist. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I completely forgot that they exist. So I do that with like actual stuff too, but humans. And so then every time I come in here, I'm like, oh, I have so many plans of what I want to do in this room. And then I leave and it's like, I forget this room exists. So this is Don't Blame Me. It's an advice show. If you guys want to call in for an upcoming episode and leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. And then let's get into the calls.
Hi, Megan and Melissa. I'm emailing in from Canada. So I've been living with my college roommate now for 2 years. We're going into our 4th year of college. We're both 21 years old. And we really like living together. We're good friends. And we've also gone through a few pretty shitty roommate situations. So we're both like, we said to each other, we're both very glad to be like living with each other now and for things to be normal. And I love that. But she has been doing something over the past year that is kind of irritating me. And I'm worried to address it. And in a way, I'd kind of rather like not address it. But I'm worried that if I don't address it, that I'm going to snap at her. And I'd rather address it in a calm way. So I'm looking for advice on like, if I do end up addressing it, how should I do that? So the problem is, and I'm also calling in because I can't even tell if this is just me being crazy or if it's an actual issue. But she'll do this thing where she'll present her opinions to like other people or just like when we're talking, and she'll say them like they're our opinions. She'll say like, we think this, whether it's a political issue, an opinion about a movie, a book, a course, anything like that. And it kind of gets under my skin. It kind of makes me feel like she sees me as like a reflection of her instead of like my own person. And I'm wondering if it's, because we were so close during other shitty living situations with like other people and like a big house. And recently she's decided to get a cat, and she asked me if I wanted a cat. And I said, no, I don't want that responsibility. But if you want to get a cat, I support you. And if you ever need me to feed it or clean its litter box, I will totally do that. No problem. And she said, cool. And she's been looking into it on her own and everything. But she's saying like, oh, what are we going to name it? What is that? I don't think we should get a kitten. I think we should get an adult cat because we're not ready for a kitten. Like we would have to proof the apartment and we would have to train it. And maybe she's just trying to make me feel like included. But I'm like, what we? Like this is your cat, and I'm certainly not like paying for it. So yeah, any advice would be great. I love the podcast and I value both of your opinions. So thank you.
Y'all go together. You didn't know that?
This would drive me crazy.
Me too.
This would
could not.
Oh my God. Like you're not being crazy. Like this is so fucking annoying. And I think that there are two options. I think that you guys had an us versus them situation, like with your previous living situation. And so it became like maybe a habit that you guys agreed on a bunch of stuff. And so it kind of was like, she kind of stuck with that you agree on everything and that you guys are the same in that way. And she feels really connected to you in that way. And it is just her trying to make you feel included. But also I think at a certain point, if she's talking to other people and referring to you guys as a we, it's not just
seems so coupley, like they're together.
It's so coupley, but that's also a way to make other people feel excluded. If it's just you and her and you're saying we when it's something that she's doing that she wants you to feel included in, yeah, that's her that could be totally her trying to make you feel included. But when she's using we statements around other people, it's to make them feel excluded, whether intentionally or not. That's what it does, usually intentionally. But the other option, and I mean, neither of these are like ones that I'm like, deal. And the other one is she's just incredible. She's like an anxious codependent person, which I've been an anxious codependent person. Like if you look at attachment theory and all of those different things, she just might feel very codependent. And I've had friends like that too, where like they just really, really latch on, and they're like a different breed of kind of toxic friendship because like you said, it bubbles up. Like it just like you have this animosity and this frustration. And my whole thought process with those kinds of friends is setting those clear boundaries, because inevitably you are going to disappoint them, because I'm sure she's not even thinking about this. Like she's not thinking about like, oh, it's like me saying we all of the time. Like it's just natural for her, but that means you guys are on the same page. And so inevitably you're going to disappoint her. And I think that saying something is great. And I actually think the cat is a really good way.
That's it would be
say something.
The best way, because it's just you guys. It's not like with other people. So you can just say, hey, like, I'm so happy to be like a cat auntie. That sounds awful to me. But and I'm happy to feed the cat when you're away and everything. But it's your cat. Like, I want you to have that like the parenting experience with your cat.
Yeah. And then be like, and if it's contingent, and like you've been saying we a lot with the cat, and I don't know, like if that's to make me feel included, which like you really don't have to worry about. Like I'm supportive of you with that, but it does right now make me feel like this is a decision I'm also committing to, and I'm letting you know
both of our responsibilities, and that's not what I'm down for. Yeah.
But I would also ask for the other opinions and stuff. Do you share the same opinion? Like, do you agree with like?
Is it stuff that you guys discussed earlier, and then she's regurgitating that information?
Because like I get it if you were like talking about The Bachelor, you guys like watch The Bachelor together, and then you're talking about like friends later, and you're like, oh my God, we were dying. Like we were saying that this is and this because you've already discussed it. But I think the political views one, like that one, I'm like, do you have the same? Like, because she is speaking for you.
Mhm.
And if she's speaking for you and you know that when you're around, she's also doing it when you're not around.
Yeah.
So if there are things that she's kind of attaching you on to that you don't necessarily agree with at all, or feel comfortable talking about and having her say like, oh, these are her opinions and her beliefs and her views on that, then I would address it like a bigger picture thing there too. But I just think that like you guys just don't really have any healthy boundaries, and you guys you trauma bonded with your last roommates, and that's something that happens where then you come out of it the other side, and that can really bond some people together. But I think you have like a healthier like attachment style than she might have, and so the situation's done, you've moved on, your life is moving on, and she's kind of doing this as like, oh, we're in the trenches together, it's like you and I against the world. But also, quarantine cannot be helping.
Oof.
I was thinking about that. I was like, can you imagine?
Well, she's also in Canada, maybe. So her restrictions might be different.
True.
Depending on what province she's in.
Yeah. God. But yeah, you have to say something because it is going to get to a point where you will snap.
Yeah.
And I would like to know if you are a Cancer, because this is very Cancery to me. And like that, I don't want to cause drama, I don't want to cause conflict, but like it's killing me and I'm eventually going to lose my shit on her.
Because I would have just started just like ignoring her all the time and then making a hole in our relationship that way. So
yep.
At least
or I would have just like intentionally disagreed and be like, no, I don't think that.
Yeah, that too. Me too. I can be argumentative as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you have to say something. This is really, I would lose my shit. Well, best of luck. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
I really hope you don't have to take care of that fucking cat.
Hey, Megan and Melissa. Okay. So I'm 20 years old, and I basically have this problem where I feel so inferior to other people all the time. And I assume it's the combination of just being more shy and introverted and physically small, because I'm 5 feet, by the way. I guess it makes it really easy for people to talk down to me and just assume that they could say whatever they want and expect me to do nothing in return. And honestly, most of the time, I will do nothing because I don't like causing problems with other people or calling someone out unless it's worth it or if they've like really crossed the line. And this is something that's always bothered me because some of the things people say to me, whether it be like anyone, like I just know that they would never say that to someone else. And I guess there's like really nothing I could do about it in terms of being judged, which everyone gets judged on appearances, but like, how do I learn to not take things so personally all the time or get so stuck and hung up on the past and allowing it to bother me? I think this is kind of a deep-rooted issue because I've had some really bad teachers in elementary school who were just really belittling, and they were like that to everyone else, but especially to me because I was so quiet and I look really young for my age. And so this has caused me to grow up really anxious and pessimistic every day when I know I have to interact with people, especially people who are going to act like an authority figure. But like I said, I guess like I can't really control how people act towards me. But like even something like really minor, like my sister and I were volunteering one day at a festival, and this girl who was another volunteer, she wasn't someone who I answered to, she was literally just another volunteer, but she was a bit older than me. She was like, go help your sister. And just getting like ordered to do something like that, and I didn't even really know her, like it bothered me a lot. And like it's not that big a deal. Like I know like she could have been more polite, but I know that it's not that big a deal. But like it just bothered me a lot, and like I'm like still thinking about it even though it happened such a long time ago. So just stuff like that, like I really cling on to. So if you have any advice, especially since I'm starting my new job soon, so anything helps. Thanks.
Oi. I mean, I think like I'm not a psychiatrist and I can't diagnose you. I think you have anxiety. Like this to me is just like the epitome of like what my anxiety feels like and has nothing to do with my height at all. Like I'm a taller person and or like my size or whatever. But I mean, because I'm latching on to that. Like if you've been thinking, like I think about shit that I did like years ago, like and like it will like keep me up at night and like send me spiraling and all of that. But I think that, I mean, yeah, I think therapy would be a really great thing for you to like talk through this sort of stuff and figure this stuff out, because even when you're saying like, oh, like she said, like, go help your sister and like, it's whatever, it's fine. Like, no, that's like, it's rude. And like,
especially
you should,
when you're volunteering.
yeah. And like, she is not your superior. And like, you should feel comfortable standing up, like sticking up for yourself and standing up for yourself. And I think if you have not, if that hasn't been like a part of you that's been empowered since you were a kid, it's like you're asking an adult to be like, oh, do this thing that like takes years to practice and master and like just do it now, even though you've never done it before. And I would think that therapy could like very like really help you just in having those tools, because it does right now from what you're saying, it seems like you're not in the driver's seat of your life. Like you're watching all of this other shit happen and you don't like it, but you don't know how to convey that and you don't know what to do. And it's also incredibly hard for women in general to like stick up for themselves and say like, oh, well, I don't want to sound like this and I don't want to sound like this and all of that.
Yeah. As a short person, same height, I realized early on that people did treat me differently because I was short. They like, oh, you're so cute, and they like put their arm like on my head and be like, I can rest my head. It's just doing stupid shit like that. It's so weird, and it's also a way of people to place dominance over you. And so when people would do that, I would like shrug them off and say, don't do that. I'm not a fucking coat rack. Or like, just in the moment when people are treating you less than you are, then acknowledging that. Even like when I started working, I would wear like blazers and things because I knew like people treated me different if I looked the part. And then like when I got more established, I stopped doing that. But you do get treated differently when you're shorter and you look younger. And so I think you realizing that pretty early on was like a good thing, but now you've got to take charge of it. And so like Megan said, it's like the anxiety in that is adding and fueling that those things that you can't control. So going to therapy, I think talking through that and learning how to assert your own dominance would help with that as well.
Because I think the anxiety is also telling you that this like isn't that big of a deal, or it's kind of a you problem thing. And I think Lily is like the only one of my and then like my male friends is the only one of my friends who's tall. Like you're not tall, neither is Sydney, neither is Jerry. And like the people I'm still like somewhat friendly with from college, like all have been like shorter people. And this is a thing forever. Like that has always been I don't want to say a struggle, but like something that they've all gone through that exact same thing. And all of my friends who are petite are by far like the most are by far the most like personality forward. Like there is nothing like cowering about them at all. And like I don't think of my friends as like, oh wow, like they're so short, this is blah 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 and all of that sort of stuff. But I know that that's not like, that takes fucking effort and work.
It takes a lot of effort. And like I said, I realized it pretty early on. And so like, I don't know if like in school we would like line up and go places and we had to line up and be in height order. So I was always in the front. So I was like, I'm taking this as a leadership thing. Or like when you're in school pictures and you got to be like in the very front row. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the star of this fucking picture. And so I think like if you start like framing it even now when you're not getting in line by height or pictures are probably still in the front, but like, just I think there's a lot of power to come with a short stature, and I mean, Napoleon, bad example, but he used his complex to get a lot of shit done. Yeah, just the anxiety is the main thing. I wouldn't put so much on the height, but focusing more on anxiety.
Yeah, because you have every right to call it out. If someone's like fucking putting their like arm on your head or doing any of that shit, like all of my friends would call that out. Like that was always a thing. And so I think your anxiety is making that feel like something you can't do or you shouldn't do, when it's something that all of my friends who are petite do. Like that's, and it's like it's definitely hard work, I'm sure, because like that the idea of like not being taken like I like there's like a two sides to every coin. Like, oh, like, well, I don't really love being that tall, but mine's in like I feel bigger than everybody, and like this makes me, I don't feel like dainty and I don't feel feminine, but I never have to be like, oh, I don't feel like people take me seriously. Like, and there's ones that like get more into your psyche than other ones do. Like, okay, fucking feeling talked down to versus feeling dainty. Like, let's call a spade a spade. And so, but the anxiety, I think, is making it harder for you to recognize that like this isn't just like a hurting your feelings thing. Like it's something that like that also fucks with you. Like that's like, and it's not okay. And it's like childish, stupid behavior for other people to do. And it definitely shows other people's true colors when they're saying and doing that shit. But I think you just need a good therapist to really give you those tools to be able to say the things in the moment and like stick up for yourself in the moment and take those small things and, like you said, reframe them to be like a positive thing. Yeah. But yeah. I always say I wish I was shorter. And then all of my friends who are shorter being like, I wish I was tall. I mean, actually, all of my friends who are short now.
I wish I was a baller.
All of my friends who are shorter, though, they like are like now like fucking love it. And I was like, 100%.
Yeah. I've never hated being short.
I think it's also an age thing, too. Like, I was much more self-conscious about, I mean, I'm still a self-conscious person, but like the older that I get, and I think it's like the anxiety of her starting a new job makes a ton of sense. But like once you feel established in like your friends and your like your whatever you're doing and all of that, and you get older, it just tends to not, because you're not being put in new situations, meeting new people. That tends to get easier too. Yeah, just getting over that hump. But best of luck with your new job.
Hi, Megan. I've been a listener for a while and kind of got in and out of you after I moved across the country. But anyways, let's get straight into it. It's a long story. My fiance and I, we dated for like 2 years, and then he proposed. Well, a week before he proposed, he cheated on me and she got pregnant. He hid it from me, and she thought that it was her boyfriend. So they were trying to keep it a secret, and we're just going to be like, you know what, like, F it. Well, turns out it wasn't her boyfriend, it is his. And I said some very harsh words to her, or not directly to her, but I wrote down my feelings, and I had broken things off with my fiance. And I decided, you know, like, I am more than willing to get together with someone who already has a child. And I love this man. He treats me incredibly, like he hasn't cheated on me. Since then, he's treated me with nothing but respect besides that moment. And I've had a lot of people telling me to leave him, and I'm just not down for it. Like, this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Like, I'm more than willing to co-parent. And so back to the note. Well, he went to her straight with it, and, you know, he apologized after. I was like, you know, like, those were words that I told you in confidence. And he was like, I didn't even think of that. Like, that was so fucked up of me. Like, I will never bring up our conversations again. And it was like, that was the end of it. But I had kind of asked, like, you know, why didn't she have an abortion? Because personally, for me, I wouldn't have been able to bring a child into this world if I didn't know who the parent was, but it was a question. Like, I wasn't like, oh, she should have aborted it. You know, like, I know that that's a fucked up thing to say. I don't think that she should have. It's every woman's right to do what they want with their body. But it was a question because I was like, I could never do that. So yeah, I did that. And then I said that them two getting together was a mistake. And she took it as I didn't want to be put a second to a mistake. And she thought that I was referring to her daughter and not them getting together. So I need some advice because she is trying to tell him to leave me and using the daughter as leverage, saying, if you don't leave her, I will not allow you to be in your daughter's life. His family has sided with her. They think that they should be together. So he cut communication with them. But anyways, my time is running up. Thank you for any advice. Bye.
I think you're confused at what pro-choice is.
I think you're confused about a lot of things.
Oh my God. Like, you said some incredibly fucked up things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you said some deplorable, and I'm going to say it, you said some unforgivable things.
Yeah.
You said some really, 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 really fucked up things to her. And it is her baby and her child. And I think she has absolutely every right to go based on her impression of you from the shit that you've said to then be like, I don't want her in my kid's life. And that's her right. That's 100% her right.
I don't even know what advice you're asking.
She wants to, like, how to approach it and like figure shit out with this woman. And that's like, I can't even. I understand being upset, and also like, so you wrote a letter to her.
She wrote a letter
to her boyfriend, and he shared it.
She wrote a letter to, she wrote a letter just to express her own feelings, and then
he shared
the boyfriend went and shared it with her.
Okay, so he's made a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
This kid is not a mistake. A person is never a mistake. I mean, Trump is a mistake, but like, there are few people who are not, they're not mistakes of, like, a person is not a mistake. You can make a mistake. And your boyfriend did, like, he cheated on you, and he then also in retaliation shared, he was hurt by the things that you said and expressed to him and your feelings. And so then he went and shared it with her because that's who he was seeking out solace in. And that's usually when people are cheating, like, that's what they're seeking, that escapism. And you said some really fucked up, unforgivable things, and she's chosen to not forgive you. And that's all, and that's what it is.
Yeah. Because you still have a lot of animosity towards her, but not towards your boyfriend. And towards this baby.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Even though you said the baby's not a mistake, but that's the reason why you're upset, because you wouldn't have said what you said about keeping a baby by somebody that if you didn't know who the father would be, you would have aborted it, which is just, you
I have
acknowledge that
goosebumps.
it's a messed up thing to say, but then you repeated it to us. And you saying that shows that you still feel that way. Like, you still feel that way, and that's how you're always going to look at this child, and she probably senses that.
Even if you're treating like, oh no, the baby's not a mistake, but you cheating on me was a mistake, that child is half of her. If you hate her and you
hate
have
that
all
child.
You hate that kid, and also why the fuck would she feel safe and comfortable letting her kid into a house where she knows that you're going to talk shit about her, or it's going to be like a passive aggressive sort of thing. Like, she has every right to want to protect her kid from any sort of like shit influence or just negativity at all. And there are certain things that like, and we've all done that. We've all said things that are like, you know what, that's really fucked up, but you can say sorry. She doesn't have to forgive you.
Right.
She does not have to accept that apology.
And what did you actually apologize for, and how did you go about apologizing for saying what you said? Because you glossed over that part. You said, I said I'm sorry, but you didn't say what steps you took, and you clearly haven't forgiven her. You've forgiven your boyfriend. You've given him, which, you know, he's your fiance, which you said you love and you're going to be with him no matter what. Well, this child is his child. And if you would look past it and co-parent, but you're not accepting of her. Like, if you really want to be in order to marry this man, you're going to have to fully accept his child and this woman, because that's the child's mother. You can't like be half in or half out. So if you love this man, like you say that you love him and you're going to be with him no matter what, then you have to love this child no matter what. And in a sense, love this woman too, because she's going to be in your life for at least the next 18 years if this is what you truly want.
I also think that you saying like, oh, I said this and it's fucked up, but like my boyfriend, like we've talked about it, he apologized. He's never going to tell her that stuff again. I'm like, so the big issue was not, holy shit, I'm so fucking mortified that I said that. And it's like, oh, my boyfriend shouldn't have told her that I said that, or that's my expression of my feeling. And you're gonna lose this. Like, you're gonna lose this. Like, if he wants to be a dad, like, this is my mindset. And you're gonna stop listening after this, I'm sure. But he is either going to choose you over his kid, then fuck him. Then that is a terrible decision. And that is not someone who you should want to be the father of your kids. Or he is going to pick the kid over you. It is not, maybe in some fucking world, this woman is like, it has much more ability to forgive than I do. But I would never be able to forgive someone if they said, oh God, and just even the judgment in like that, if I didn't like, you know, like, I'm just surprised, like, I wouldn't have kept the baby. Bitch, no one asked you if you would have kept the baby. It's pro-choice. That's the point. Make your own fucking decision for yourself. No one asked you if you would have kept the baby. And even if they fucking did, keep that shit. Like, you can think negative, nasty, vile fucking thoughts. Keep them to your fucking self, because then when it comes out that you've said that and that's attached back to you, you have to own it. You have to fully own, like, you know what I did? That I was a terrible person.
Out of your mouth.
You said that shit. It is not his fault for telling her. It is your fault for fucking saying it. And if you're not comfortable saying something to someone's face, don't fucking say it. If you need to think it, fucking think it, and then process your own thought process on your own. So you don't have anybody who's brought in to that fucking toxicity and that stupid shit that you're thinking. Yeah. And it's just so fucked up, because it's also a judgment of, I wouldn't have kept the baby. The baby is a baby. The baby exists. The baby is fucking real. And that baby is a human. And now that human is here. And she's supposed to just be like, oh, it was a hypothetical when she said that. Like, I'm not taking that to heart. And then also that she like wouldn't even know who the dad is. that is so judgmental, like so fucking judgmental. What, like, you're saying that you would be okay co-parenting? She's not okay with you co-parenting.
Right.
Now what?
I would not want you around my child if you had these things to say.
I think if you need like your final attempt at this, at mending it with her, ask her if you guys can go, like if you guys can go out and talk, and then actually apologize. And then if she chooses,
you have to mean it, because I don't think you mean it at this point.
No.
Even before they take that step, she's got to figure out what she actually wants and fully accept everything that's going on. Because if she can't fully accept all of this and forgive not just him, but the lady too, and love this child and love this lady, then she can't even sit down and have this conversation.
No. And then even once
because
you
it'll
do
be
that,
a lie.
She has every right to say no. And if you can realize that, like this situation happened, but the reason why you are in the specific position you're in now is because of the words that you have said, that you need to know if she doesn't forgive you and she doesn't apologize, then you need to be ready to walk away from the relationship. Or are you going to ask him to not see his kid?
Yeah.
Because that's
the type of person that you want to be with.
And is that the type of person that you are?
You want to be. Yeah.
And it does not matter how much you love him. Sometimes we fuck up and we don't get a second chance. And sometimes we fuck up. They don't have to forgive us. And we end up in situations we don't want to be in because of our own actions. We make mistakes and that fucking happens. And just like he made a mistake in cheating on you, you made a grave mistake in saying some nasty fucking shit. And you chose to forgive him for cheating on you, but she doesn't have to forgive you for saying that stuff. Yeah. And that's her. That's on her. That's her prerogative. And then you have to make the choice of being like, do I want my boyfriend to give up his kid and seeing his kid? Or am I okay being like, I fucked up. I need to learn from this, and I'm going to take this into the rest of my life, and I'm going to walk away from the situation, so I'm not going to rob my boyfriend of seeing his kid. It's time for a break, guys, and we will be back. Okay, guys, we are back from our break, and we're getting to the rest of the calls.
Hi, Megan. I'm 21. I've been dating my boyfriend for almost 2 years now. We met in college. He's the love of my life. He's great. We have a really good relationship. But I do need your advice on masturbating. Okay, I know, like for girls, like a lot of us are like super open about it, and it's really good. But like my boyfriend's just not that into it, and like he doesn't do it that much himself. But like he's never really in the mood, but I am all the time. And I recently just bought myself a dildo because I was like, what the heck, it's fun, whatever. And he is super, super offended by it. Like he's like, I'm not good enough anymore. Like you prefer a plastic penis over mine. And that's just not the case. It's just like, when you need to like do your thing, you do your thing. And I don't want to be bothering him all the time. So if you could just give me some advice on this, I'd really love that. Thanks. Love the show.
Did you buy a vibrator or a dildo?
I know. That's what I was thinking too.
Like, damn, that's a lot of fucking arm work.
Unless it's like one of the ones that you just like plop onto something, and then that's leg
it's got a suction cup in the bottom.
Yeah.
I do want to know if it's a dildo or a vibrator. I know that's like so not important, but I just want to know.
I had the same thought too, because like who just buys a dildo? If it's a dildo, then it's usually has a vibrating part to it.
Not just like for like, I don't know, like art decor.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be curious about his background, if he grew up like religious or if he grew up where like it was not a sex positive environment.
Or he just doesn't have a high sex drive.
But that's the thing though, because that's the thing that confuses me is that he like doesn't understand. Like he's like, why don't you just have sex with me then, as opposed to masturbating? And I think masturbating tends to be more of like the taboo versus like sex, because it's like, oh, like sex is between like, you know, it's very like heterosexual. It's between a man and a woman when they love each other to make a baby.
But maybe like he expects her sex drive to be where his is. Like he thinks that she's too sexual and he wants her to only have sex with him, like only have
I think you need to
orgasm
exhaust
with
him then. Like,
Yeah.
I think you just need to, like, then, like, every time you're horny and you want to masturbate, like, this is my petty advice. Like, every time you're horny and you want to masturbate, just be like, okay, let's have sex right now.
Is it the masturbating or is it the dildo? That's the thing. Like, that's why I think she actually got a dildo, because he might have penis envy. Maybe.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
It's like a big fucking dick, and he's like, I'm not enough.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I think that there's, like, if we're talking, like, just masturbating wise, like, here, I think if you are both working from home, I think the polite and courteous thing to do, if, like, one part, like, if you're horny and, like, and your partner is around, just being like, yo, wanna bone one out?
Wanna go rub one out, take it to Bone Town?
Yeah. And then I think that's, like, a totally valid ask. But then if they're not but it shouldn't be like, oh, if no one should feel obligated to. It's more like, hey, I'm feeling horny. By chance,
are you in the mood too?
Are you also
Excuse
in the mood,
me, sir?
Hello, sir. Quick question. Pip, pip. Hello. Hello, you little peen. How's it going? Hello. Are you at attention? Like, just like, and if he's down, hello. If he's down, or if your partner is down and like also happens to be in the mood, like serendipitously, then like, cool, bone it out. But like, no one should feel obligated if your partner's like asking you if you're like in the mood, and then then it becomes, okay, you're not in the mood and you're not feeling coerced or pressured at all, and then like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna go rub one out on my own. And I think like, ask him if that's what he would prefer. Like, if like he'd be okay. Like, Monts literally would be like, no, I do not give a shit if you masturbate all day, fucking every day. Like, enjoy yourself. Love it for you. Great
Right.
turn on. Big fan. But like, I'm someone where I'm like, I mean, if you're in like the mood to have sex, like, ask me first. And like, sometimes I'll be like, not really mood. Go, hey, do your thing. But like, and that's just like how we differ. Like, I also like, I'm a Leo. I love attention. Like, I just need to know that I'm like wanted. And then like, I don't need to say it's being invited to the party. I don't need to go. I just like want to be invited. And he's like, does not give a shit at all. So I think that you need to ask your boyfriend, like, would you like, so when I'm horny and like, can I just like ask you first? Like, if like, not ask you if I can masturbate, but like, see if you're also in the mood. And then from there, because like, you might just exhaust him.
Yeah.
But then I think also there's the less petty side of it, which is just like educating him on like, masturbating is incredibly normal and it's totally fine. And just because you don't do it doesn't mean that I don't have to not do it. And like, our sex drives like are not necessarily related to like, there's like, I don't know. I personally think there's like multiple kinds of sex drives. Like, I want to get myself off, or I want to have sex with you.
Yeah. And also like, maybe it's like the intimacy of it, but like, every time an orgasm isn't just about an intimate experience. Sometimes it's
I've
just
had intimate experiences with, removable shower heads.
Yeah.
like
it's like a lot of, it relieves stress. It raises your serotonin. It just makes you feel better. It relaxes you. It's good for your heart. There's just a lot of health benefits. So maybe coming at it from a health standpoint as well.
Yeah.
But if it's the dildo versus dick, that's a different issue, which I think that might be the issue. If he's saying, I'm not enough for you.
And I don't think he's going to say that. And I also don't think you can say that, because then it makes it go like, you've thought about it. And then he's like, what do you mean? Like, ah. So I think that like, you just have to let us know if it's a dildo or if it's a vibrator.
Yeah. And
because
if it's a dildo that's significantly different than his dick, then that's
Girl.
what he's.
Yeah. And I would have told you beforehand, be like, that's
Yeah.
especially
Like she got like this realistic big
like veiny
dick with
big
veins.
ass.
Yeah. And he's like,
oh, literally. Oh, baby. But yeah, I think if that's like if you feel, if he's not like, if it's not a deal breaker for you, and if it's like, oh, this is something I'd be into, but turns out he's not comfortable and his comfortability is valued over like my desire to do this thing, then get like a little bullet vibrator. Get something that's like a little less like realistic and something that like maybe will not make him feel emasculated.
closer,
if that's the thing.
or go get his dick. They have those dick moles, and then see how he feels about it.
Yes. But you hold up. If the other one's huge, you got to get rid of the other one first before you get his mold, and then it's like again,
and then
like
you
them
can
right
do
next
a
to each
compare
other.
and contrast. Yeah.
But I do think that like this is like, you seem like really great and like sex positive, and I think this is a really great learning opportunity for him, that like he might be feeling emasculated, but that's not like the end of it. Like that's like, you need to unpack. That needs to be something that's like unpacked and like, okay, let's have a conversation about toxic masculinity. Like, let's have a conversation about this, and this. And obviously to his comfort level and where he's at. But it's about his comfort, and then also recognizing and like having him be open, so then you guys can unpack it and like figure out what it is, because it's not. Most of those feelings of like discomfort when it comes to like society standards and stuff like that is an ongoing forever thing. And if you're in a healthy, like committed relationship, it's a great time to like relearn those things and like change those expectations. But please send us a picture of the dildo / vibrator in question, and then
make sure it's clean.
Oh, yeah. But then also give us if you could give us an estimate on your boyfriend's penis size too, so we can have, or even if you just want to give us it's a third. It's like a subtract 4 inches, subtract 2 inches. Give us
girth.
Yeah,
too.
Girth versus length. Let us know. And also, like, does it have a section? I want to know. But best of luck. We look forward to seeing the pictures.
Yeah. Thank you in advance.
Thanks. On to the next one.
Hi guys, I love you so much. Okay, I'm just gonna hop into it. I have a dilemma. Basically, I have a boyfriend who lives in Hawaii. I travel to Hawaii back and forth for work. I'm a stripper, love life. Anyway, I have a boyfriend, and he was a virgin when I met him. He's very reserved and like doesn't really know what he's doing and everything, but like I love him as a person, and like his personality is amazing, and him as a person and I just click. Like everything clicks, and like we work together really well and all that whoop-de-doo. But he is just a little bit immature. He doesn't really want to move out of his parents' house. He's 24, and I've asked him several times to get an apartment with me, whether that's here or there. I don't care, and he just won't. I've been seeing this other guy here, low key. He's a fuck buddy and all that, and he's like really grown and like offers like to buy me phones and stuff if like we date, and like he wants to date me too, but like we don't get along the way that like me and my boyfriend get along, and I don't know like if I should completely cut the fuck buddy off, because like it's not fair to him to like want a relationship with me when I don't want a relationship with him. He doesn't know that I have a boyfriend because he has cheated on me before. That fuck buddy, I dated him before and he cheated on me, so then we just kept it to fuck buddies. And my current boyfriend has also cheated on me with like sexting other women. So I just like am kind of going rogue right now. Anyway, my question is like, do I keep fucking this guy? Do I date him? Or do I break up with him or do I break up with both of them because I'm not getting everything that I want from either of them? I just don't know if I'm asking for too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know if I'm being really picky or if I truly, like, need to break up with both of them and just find somebody who has everything. But then again, does that person exist? Okay. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Wait, so do you not realize that you're cheating on your boyfriend?
Yeah, I was like you're actively cheating. You got
and you're
hoes
like,
in
so
different
this
area
other
codes, and
you have to fucking plane.
Yeah,
you're literally being like, so, but like my fuck buddy, he cheated on me, and my boyfriend, he had cheated on me too. But like,
okay, so this would be my situation. This would be my solution to this situation. Not something I would be personally into, but it seems like this would be something you were into. Everybody's just open. So you and your fuck buddy can be open and let him know that you have a boyfriend that you're having an emotional relationship with, because your fuck buddy over here used to be your boyfriend, but he cheated on you. So he's not really just a fuck buddy because you do have some intimate connection with him. Then you've got your boyfriend over here who you have an emotional connection with, but like sexually, he's not fulfilling you, and he's sexting other people. So why don't you just everybody just put everything out on the table, be truthful for what they want, and then you can get sex over here, and then your intimate relationship over here. I don't think that may be what she wants on the surface, but if she looks deep in her heart, that might be what she wants, because it's too many secrets and lies and things going on.
Well, you're holding animosity to your fuck buddy for previously cheated on you and your boyfriend for having previously like cheated on you by sexting other girls. But
you're like, currently cheating on both of them because your fuck buddy thinks that you're like in a relationship because he doesn't know that your boyfriend exists.
Yeah. And also here's like, that's the thing that's like, cheating is fucked up, but like people just need to know what decision that they're making. Like you like everybody needs to know all of the facts, to know like, hey, am I okay with this? Because like right now your fuck buddy, he might not be okay with the fact that you have a boyfriend. He might not be okay like for himself personally to like hook up with someone who has a boyfriend because it's like, no, that makes me I feel really bad for that dude. Like I don't want to do that. But you're taking away that like that right from him to like make that choice. You need to break up with both of them because your boyfriend is your friend. You don't like any. That's the difference between like a friend and like a romantic sexual partner is the sex part. Like
unless you're asexual.
No. Oh, 100%. Yeah. You're right. I mean, in this situation for her, you're describing that sex is an important part for you, and he's hitting all of these other boxes. But like, what other boxes?
But not her actual box,
literally. And what other boxes is he hitting that like your friends don't? Like what is he fulfilling? I think it's the point of friendship.
Intimate connection. It's just the connection. Like there's a romantic connection, but there's not a sexual connection.
Okay, you're right. I take that back. So you need a sexual connection and an intimate romantic without the sexual connection. And that person exists in one person for you. And I would say that I think that you have an ability to not be monogamous and to get that fulfillment from multiple partners. But the way that you talk about having been cheated on, I don't think that you're comfortable with that. I think...
But she's openly cheating herself. Well, not openly. I
don't think she's comfortable with them sleeping with other people. I think she's comfortable with what she's doing. I don't think she'd be comfortable if they were all open. I think she wants to be open.
I think she should present it and put it on the table and see what all the parties say.
I mean, I think that's a great solid idea. I would also ask you, do you have them like? Are they in the same location? Because if you're flying for one of them,
one's in Hawaii. The fuck buddy's in Hawaii, and the other one is at the other location.
Okay, well, I was like, either way, whoever's in Hawaii, stay there. I was like, that's fun. Yeah, I mean, I think that it is a possibility to
She's
find
probably here in LA because that's a quick flight.
True. Someone who hits all of those boxes. I think that like that totally that person exists, but it's just a matter if that person exists for you. Like my needs are met in one person, but that's other people's needs aren't met in one person, and that's a choice that they make. But when it comes to like a polyamory, or if it comes to like an open relationship, you also have to be comfortable with other people, like in the same, like, you know, the same way that they would have to be comfortable with you doing that. And also, you're also gonna have to like tell. I think that this could work, but maybe not with these guys. Like if you're like, okay, so I've been cheating on both of you. Like, are we all down to keep hooking up? Like they might just be like, what? Fuck you. And then you can seek out 2 other people. But it's also a lot of plane tickets. I mean, I think right now you've made a lot of action, you've done a lot of shit, and now it's time to own up and then see if something positive can happen from it. But also you can't fault any of them if they're not into it.
Yeah.
But
there's cheating going on all around. So if we're being ethical about it, then have the discussion.
Yeah.
And see.
Okay, so now it's time for an update from, drumroll please.
It's a sad drum. From season 6, episode 6. This gal, she had a friend. And this friend also had hoes in different area codes. This friend is also married. This friend also lied about her husband giving permission for her to cheat on her with the caller. And now we have an update.
Oh my God. I'm ready.
Hi, Megan. Hi, Melissa. This is your messy Libra bitch here, just with a little bit of a follow-up. This is a girl whose friend used her to cheat on her husband. Anyways, so you asked a couple of questions. I think at one point I did have feelings for her, but it's been a very, very, very long time since that, probably in high school. But I didn't really have the understanding of that when I was that young. But also the attraction, or I guess the sexual tension, that's kind of always been there too. We've hooked up in the past. So me hooking up with her was not like crazy or new or like anything like that. And like her husband knew that we had hooked up in the past. So again, not crazy or new that would happen. And then we did have a conversation about it, about everything. And she wasn't mad at me for telling him. Honestly, I think she was kind of relieved. I guess when you have that many secrets and somebody just outs you, it's kind of, nice. She was apologetic, and I told her that I needed time and like space away from her because I was like so hurt. And she kind of listened to that. And then also like 2 weeks after me telling her that, was like texting me being like, oh, so are you just done with our friendship? I feel like you don't want to have anything to do with me. And I was like, I told you I needed time, and that wasn't going to be like 2 weeks, We haven't really talked since everything went down. It's just really tough for me because it's in my nature to be forgiving and to like be there for someone when they're going through clearly something big. But like I couldn't be this time, and it feels so unlike me because that's what I usually do. But I couldn't ignore my feelings. I couldn't just like pretend that I wasn't incredibly hurt and like honestly kind of over our friendship. And I hate saying that because it feels mean. It feels mean saying that out loud, but it's just how I feel. Anyway, so also, just as like a little fun fact and a little bit more messiness for you, she tried to also get our other friend who's married involved in the affair that she was having with the guy across the country, as in getting him on the phone while they're all hanging out and basically being like, maybe we should all be together and have like a threesome. So that's fun that she tried to get that person involved as well. Anyways, Thanks for your response. It was really helpful. I just want to make sure that I'm not being a bad friend here. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
No, absolutely not. You're not being a bad friend. I wouldn't even be friends with this girl anymore because she's a pathological liar and manipulator.
She needs to be a reality TV show producer. Like
Yeah.
she needs a fucking outlet. Oh my God. That's wild. No, you're not being a bad friend at all. She's being a bad friend. And like, she's being a bad friend to like everybody. Like, she was being a bad wife. She was being a bad friend. She was being a bad friend to your other friend by including her in all of this stuff. Like, you're thinking about her far more than you're thinking about like her well-being far more than she's thinking about yours. And that's the epitome of like someone that like does not deserve your friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, that's so messy. But it's like Melissa and I, we say this all the time. Where it's like, I don't really want to be friends with you anymore. Like, not each other, but like we do that with and I wish more people were just like okay with like recognizing that and being like, I liked you for like a certain period of time, or like we got along well, or like now that I have better friends, or now that like my life's a little more busy, or I've just grown up and I'm like, I just like don't think you're that tight anymore.
What kills me is that she was okay with her secrets, like being told. Like, she was like, oh, phew, now I don't have to lie anymore. Now everything's fine. Like, what is her marriage?
Like, she's relieved. Like, bitch, you could have done that.
Yeah. She just likes creating mess. Like,
that's why she needs to be
the CEO of Messy.
She is the CEO of Messy, and this is why she needs to be a reality TV show producer, and then she needs to be at base camp just watching this shit go down,
or
and then being like
the participant.
Oh, that too. Sign her up for The Bachelor. Sign her up for.
But she's married. She has to get the divorce first. So it needs to be a different reality show. One that's even trashier.
X on the beach. Who are you going to pick? God.
You're not being a bad friend. That's the bottom line. And if you still want to be friends with her, like, I low-key kind of like want you to still be friends with her so you can call in and just share.
Or just
all the messy, because you know it's not going to end. Like, this is the end. This is not the end.
I think you should just like keep following each other on social, like keep tabs and see all of that stuff. But like, yeah, you do not have to be friends with this girl, and you don't feel bad for not wanting to be friends with her. Like, I've stopped being friends with people for far less, like far fucking less. And once you have a break from a friend, and then you realize like, oh, I don't miss you, which now I've also now realized maybe that is my issue of object permanence, and that I'm like, oh, I forgot you existed, so it's a really hard time missing you. But if you don't miss a friend once you like have that kind of separation and break, they kind of were more of like a habit and just a part of your life versus something that like, you actively sought to, like, they were just there. It wasn't something that,
especially since she's been in your life for so long.
Yeah, she was just like a mainstay. Like, it's not, but that doesn't have to be like hard. Like, you don't have to be an asshole ending a friendship.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
And like, maybe it feels like she's making you feel that way, that like it's not going to be like a tidy kind of mutual like separation. Like, it is going to have to like be a blow up and that sort of stuff. But like, you can like slow fade and you can ghost, and after a while she'll stop reaching out, and it is what it is. Or you can, you know, breadcrumb her, or you can just like be cordial. But I don't know if she's going to like let you.
I can't believe she called it. She was like, "Oh, so we're just not gonna be friends anymore," or whatever she said. Like everything this woman says is just unbelievable. And what is her marriage now? Like, are they working through it? Is he okay with this?
How is he?
Yeah, like he called you and brought you even more into the situation. Have you guys had another conversation? This is something that I would like to be an ongoing series.
We are hearing from the CEO of. We've got a CEO of Messy Story. I'm so. You didn't answer our question though about her job.
Oh yeah.
I really want to know. I really, really, really want to know because I wonder if like she's just not fulfilled enough in work, and that's why she's.
Come on, though. Like, how much dick and pussy and attention do you need in order to fill a hole, literally and figuratively, that work
hole.
Is not?
No, that's what I
satisfying
think that, like,
you.
But I think she also likes drama. I think she likes the puppeteering of it all.
That's it. That's what she likes. The drama.
But that's what I mean. I was like, work for reality TV or be on reality TV. I think she needs more drama in her. I mean, maybe she's just someone who will always have drama in her life, and you just have to decide, do you want to be a part of the drama? Because it's never going to stop.
No, never.
She is the CEO of Messy, and she is not stepping down.
And she should monetize this. If this is what she wants her job to be, you gotta figure out how to monetize this.
Yeah. Oh, well, guys, what an episode. That's our episode. If you want to call in for an upcoming one, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. We've still been getting a lot of messages and comments from people about the Facebook group. They're
not listening to the end of the episode. So they're not listening now. So
you will be publicly shamed. In anyone who's listening all the way to the end. And if you see anyone comment or ask about it, publicly shame them and say you have to listen all the way through the episode before you start asking questions that have already been answered. And just your friendly reminder. Yeah, that we're not accepting new members at this current time. We will be accepting members again. We are coming up with new questions, and we are making sure that the group is a good place for everybody. We want to make sure everybody in it is active, not just lurking and like reading your personal shit and then doing whatever. We want to make sure that it's like a collaborative community versus like a parasocial relationship where they're just, it's very different than the podcast in that sense. So we are making it so, but by the time that we open it again, you're joining, we won't have any
happy place.
Yeah, we've kicked out a lot of people. So, that being said, shoot, what else? Oh, follow us on Instagram. Don't Blame Me Pod. Buy my book, You're Not Special. It's out everywhere. My presets. Follow us on our socials. Hit it up. And what podcasts would you like to promote?
Directionally Challenged. We've been on hiatus. By the time this comes out, we should have the first episode from hiatus should be up. It's with Candace King and Kayla Yule. You may know them from Vampire Diaries. Megan's been on the episode. Go check it out. It's a good time. Ladies in their 30s still trying to figure out what life is about and asking questions from other people. So
they're the best.
It's
I love them.
It's a very mature show, like as far as like the content that we tackle. So, I think you should listen to like these two together so that they balance each other out.
Yeah, if you're like, you listen to this and then you're like, I want to fucking home wreck. Like I like you like feel like you feel like Miley Cyrus on the wrecking ball being like, how can I fuck shit up today? And then you listen, that's the come down.
Yeah.
That's like a Xanax. This is an upper.
Yeah.
And that evens you out and makes you be like, oh, wow, let me reflect on my life. Like, it was my favorite to listen to and I mean, I obviously still listen to it, but like when I was driving, like when we used to record our podcast, this podcast farther away from where I live, that used to be my drive home podcast because we would come off from talking on the show and I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, okay, simmer down in traffic, listen And they both have like, I mean, they're both actors, so they have very nice, very nice
Tones.
podcast voices. And so it always ended me out. So I didn't come home like, like ready to like fist fight Monts, being like,
I mean, I told you about the time my friend sent me a message and she asked me, like, it was a picture of her husband and she said something like, should I throw him away? And I was like, ready to fight. Like, what the fuck did he do? Blah, blah, blah. And she was referencing something that had nothing to do with her husband. And it was like, okay.
I need to take a breather.
Yeah.
This does, like, this hypes, like, this show fucking hypes me up. Like, it makes me be like, I'm just on one. Like, I literally almost every time after we record this, I ask Monts, I'm like, do you want to wrestle? And he's like, no. And I'm like, come on,
you gotta get a punching bag.
I know. I'm planning on it. Okay, guys. That's it.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Oops. Oh, also leave us a nice review on the Apple Podcast app if you'd like.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.